A chance to sit down and take a listen to the album, and I've got to say, this is an absolute masterpiece. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So, tell us a little bit about how this album came about. It's been 8 years since the last album. What sparked that want and that hunger to work on another album?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, during it's been 8 busy years, that's for sure. You know,
Yeah.
one Pain album, two Lindemann albums, a lot of tours with both Hypocrisy, Pain, and Lindemann. So I mean, it's been total chaos here. So when things starts to slow down, me and my son did this little project we had, just writing death riffs and putting songs together. So that kind of sparks to coming back again to write for Hypocrisy, I would say.
Tell us a little bit about writing with your son. We see a lot of that work on this album. Tell us a little bit about what it was like sitting down and writing with your son. That must have made you pretty proud as a dad.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not the first time. I mean, he contributed on End of Disclosure as well. Soldier of Fortune, we wrote half each, me and my son. So he's not a rookie anymore, even if he's only 23 right now.
Yeah. You mentioned that the last 8 years have been so busy with Lindemann, with Pain. What was it like when everything suddenly stopped, when tours and everything stopped because of COVID? Was that a little bit of a shock to your system when suddenly you found that you weren't out on the road?
No, that was just like, oh, thank you. Now I can start breathing. I know. I mean, I feel sorry for some bands and crew and venues and PA companies, and a lot of people got really screwed for the last year and a half. No income and things, and it's about all kinds of public things, like anything from sports events to music events. It hit people hard.
So did that also give you the chance to work on this album? Were you able to, because you were off the road, able to concentrate on the album, but did that also cause problems with recording, or were you able to do most of that from home?
Well, since I do most of the recording myself anyhow, I don't really need anybody. But the first first half year, I mean, I just stayed home and just laying on the couch watching TV and just trying to ventilate, And the second, the year after that, I just kept on cleaning up the new Hypocrisy stuff. I mean, Horg was here in 2019 to put the drums on, I think. 2019, I think he laid down the drum tracks for the 11 songs. So after that, it's just me. What else? What do I need the other guys for? There's the main stuff falls on my shoulder, I guess, So 2018-19, we were trying to come up with some songs and stuff.
So how long did the songwriting process actually take? Because I know that you and Sebastian were working on that. So did that kind of start at the start of COVID, or had you guys already started to work on some of these tracks pre that?
No, we started before, a year or 2 years before. So I didn't really want to push anything and stress a new Hypocrisy album until I, had the spark that you need, to put your whole soul into it. And it wasn't really there for 5-6 years because I'm really burned out and touring too much and shit, we even made it to Australia for the first time.
Yeah.
Remember 2019, I think it was, or was it 18? No, 19.
19, yep.
So, yeah, we did also Japan and some other countries, and we did America, we did Europe with Hypocrisy, still without an album out. So we were pretty busy anyhow. And then flipping back to Pain tours and Lindemann tours, and it was pretty hectic, that's for sure.
Yeah. And what kind of topics were fueling your songwriting? Because when I look through the lyrics on this album, there's so many different topics on there. There's pharmaceutical addiction, there's tracks like Dead World. What kind of things were inspiring the two of you when you sat down to work on this album?
I mean, Sebastian's song was already done, Dead World. You know, I didn't have any lyrics on it. It was actually from a project me and him started a few years earlier, just to sit and throw out riffs. And, you know, he's a very good drummer, so he needed to ventilate on his drums. So we did a lot of songs. So, and I needed to get some riffs out of my mind. So I think Dead World was written like 2018, but I didn't put any lyrics on it until like 2019. So I mean, it's just been a very slow process between tours, between when I felt that I had the energy to think about it, you know. So in the whole run, maybe it wasn't too long if you put it all together, but it was spread out on a period of 3-4 years, I would say.
Yeah. The album's coming out at a time now here in Australia when these lyrics mean so much for what is going on. I mean, if you listen to Greedy Bastards and what that track is about, we're going through that right here now in the city that I live in with riots every day. That must feel surreal to you that so much of what you're writing about here has really come about in the last 12 months.
Yeah, it's really strange. I mean, I think all the lyrics were pretty much done before the COVID epidemic came about. It was more to lay down the tracks and mixing and so on. So it is what I thought.
Yeah.
What can I say? It's really fucked up. You know, it's nothing that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
It's just what I felt in 2018, 2019, how I saw the world. And now it became really surreal.
Yeah.
So to say. I mean, Chemical Horror, people are like, oh, is this an anti-wax song? I'm like, how the fuck can it be an anti-wax song when we did the video in September 2019?
Yep.
And the lyrics a half a year before or even more. You know, it was just my thought, how I feel, how I see the world. And that's really what you get on Worship.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Chemical Horror, that's a song that we've been playing it on our show and has been getting so much traction. So many people love the sound of the song. Tell us a little bit about what you guys wanted to try and achieve audio-wise on this album. Was there a kind of sound that you wanted to capture this time around?
Well, I felt that I needed a really heavy and bombastic production on this album. Really wide and big, and you can dream away when you listen to it. Kind of, you get a certain notion of the environment. Kind of, you know, you want to drag people into your sound. You know, you want them to be a part of the journey of the song. Kind of. That was my main thing, just to make it really heavy and sound as good as I could possibly do at the moment.
Definitely. Well, it's definitely turned out to be absolutely amazing. And I want to talk about the artwork too on the cover. Again, we talked about the lyrics kind of prophesizing what happened over the last 12 months, but the album artwork also, in the last 12 months, governments finally admitted that UFOs were real. Tell us a little bit about the artwork and why you went with that artwork, because it looks absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get it on a shirt.
Thank you. Well, I hope I don't predict this right, because then we're fucked. You know? This was an idea I had like in 2017, 18 or something. I came up in a hotel room, so I took a napkin and I started drawing a pyramid and then the crosses. You know, it was just a vision I had. And I asked my boss at Nuclear Blast in America, Gerardo, if he could get someone to develop my idea or to get it into real. because I'm not really good on paintings or drawings or whatever, but I got my message through to this guy, and then eventually Blake, I guess he's an artist doing a lot of stuff, I would say. He finally got my vision, and after a few changes here and there, this is what I had in mind.
Definitely. Well, it looks amazing and almost prophetic again, because last night we thought that there was an alien invasion here in Australia, and it turned out it was a Chinese rocket. But yeah, very, very prophetic once again.
Oh, okay. What, they were launching something up in space, or?
Yeah, so it's been it's kind of on the news over here today. We don't know exactly what it was. We think it was a satellite. We're not sure why a Chinese satellite was launched over Australia, but it was. And yeah, a lot of people in New South Wales actually saw it and thought it was a UFO. There was flooding radio stations and television stations with the footage of it.
Ah, cool. I have to go out and see. I mean, I watch the news all day long. Always.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's become very addicted to me. But I didn't see that yet, so I hope it will pop up in my streams later on.
Yeah, definitely.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, 99.9% is something that you can explain, and then there is like this promille of things that you can't really explain. And when the government went out in this Tic-Tac UFO thing in 2017 in December, I think. This is old fucking shit. It's from 2004, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
I think they tried to get it out 2014, but nobody really reacted, so they did another shot at it in 2017, and then some people started care about it. New York Times published it. It was on CNN and things like that, but, in general, it's pretty... I think people need to see it right in front of their faces, if there is anything, to start react.
Definitely.
And maybe it's just a maneuver. This COVID thing is a maneuver for another things that they want us to concentrate on this COVID instead of what's around us in the sky or in the ocean or underneath the earth. I mean, Gods of the Underground is really about people living in honeycomb society underground. There's big, huge fucking caves.
Yep.
Like huge, like city caves, and they think, for sometimes, people been living there, people or whatever, Maybe they've been living there for thousands of years when there was some kind of catastrophe, so they went underground and never really went up again.
Definitely, yeah. And I think here in Australia, people are asking questions and exploring more. When the announcements came out from the governments about the findings into UFOs, it wasn't such a huge shock to a lot of people here in Melbourne, because we had a massive event here in the 1960s in which my dad was actually part of, where a UFO hovered over a high school. Now, every staff member at that high school, every student at that high school saw it. People who lived in the streets around it saw it. Police officers saw it. There was never an explanation given. So when that finding actually came out, I think a lot of people here especially in Victoria and Melbourne, weren't so surprised, because we have had those events here frequently.
Yeah. And it's a little similar to this incident in Africa as well. I can't remember exactly the city. It was the same thing in the school. I mean, like 300 children and teachers and things saw it,
Yep.
And this was also, I think it was early 70s or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of strange things going on in the world. But like I said, a lot of things are military and covert operations and things. So, I mean, you don't really know. Is it man-made or is it something else? And so it's interesting, to see how far this is going to go.
It is. Peter, I know I could talk to you about this all night, but we are running out of time very, very quickly. So I wanted to ask before I go, where are things at now for you with the whole COVID situation? Are you guys going to be able to get out and tour for this album? How's it looking for you?
I really hope for next year. We actually had a tour booked for October, November this year, and we didn't never announced it in Europe because we thought it doesn't make sense. In end of August, we said, okay, we can't announce it because we don't think it's going to happen. And it's really like you can come to one city, it's okay to play, and then all suddenly the next city is not, or the second, or the third, or the fourth. And when you have a crew and nightliners and things, you lose thousands every day if you don't play. So it's really a financial gamble. So we said, okay, let's wait. So now we have end of April. We have 5 weeks in America that we're gonna announce soon, and then we're just gonna try to get the whole world, so to say, after that.
Awesome.
To get go everywhere. And I mean, first time a couple of years ago we went to Australia, so I really hope we can come back again. Now when we have good local promoters and stuff that we know, that we trust.
Definitely. Well, we'll welcome you here with open arms. And I just want to say thank you so much for chatting to us tonight. And also thank you for bringing us so much marvelous music over the years that we've fallen in love with.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure. I mean, this is the only thing I know how to do.
Not a problem. I'll let you go, but stay safe and hopefully we see you in Australia soon.